Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Not Too Comic Book. This being a show where I talk about TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the latest, episode 12 of Tower of God. A great episode. A lot of interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. Okay, so first and foremost, we pick up with Endorsi, Ren, and Anak. But when the time comes, Endorsi doesn't kill her because it's like, right, let's end this, and then afterwards let's go have lunch together, because like for her it's like, we're not gonna like let things end this way. I'm not gonna let him convince me to kill you. Like, we're in this together. She made her decision that she's gonna climb to the top of Anak, and she's not backing down. You know, they are family and everything. So I think she sees, you know, hearing Bomb and everything that Bomb stands for, and you know, her own past and knowing Anak. That's why she was kind of getting on Anak about hardships. Yes, you've had your hardships, but Anak's had hardships too, just in a different light. So she gives Anak back Green April, but Anak gives her Black March, and they both go up against Ren, handling their own, but even then they can't go up against him. He's a tough bastard. But at the same time, you have your boy Shibisu looking for them, and he feels a terrible presence, and suddenly it's like, and you know, Yuri pops up and she's like, "Did you say princess?" And she goes off to help her sisters, even though, like, because Ren got the upper hand against him and he's planning on killing them. It's like, this is what you were planning all along. It's like, right, you know, I'm supposed to get rid of, you know, this is what I'm supposed to do, and I'm going to get rid of, you know. He was kind of hoping, it's like, right, if you proved yourself, cool. If you prove not to be useful and chose Anak over your father, then so be it, you know. But then Yuri steps in, and initially she's like, right, you came here to retrieve the weapons, fine, I'll get them, you just shoo away. But he was like, no, like, that, because then I'll have to report to your father that you're helping these two enemies of the tower. And she's like, are you threatening me? And he's like, oh, I'm getting so excited, and he spews all those monsters at her. But, like, I love that she's just standing there, she never moved, and literally nothing but, like, a large line of blood behind her, because she disintegrated those things into, like, splattered them into nothing but blood. And she easily goes toe-to-toe with Ren. No, you know, not even needing a weapon. Any lightning he shoots at her, she holds it off with one hand while looking at her nails. It's like, yeah, just showcasing, like, for one, it's the power of a ranker, but also the power of a ranker, a jihad princess ranker on top of that, you know? And this is, you know, and it's like, if this is what Yuri's capable of, who knows what the others, because who knows how many of the other princesses are actually rankers or not. Like, is Maria a ranker? Or is she just a princess? Like, who knows? Like, but we know, at least with her case, she's a ranker, and she easily, like, even at one point in time, it's like she like flips her finger and literally does that. And luckily, Ren dodged out of the way. She's like, "Why are you dodging?" I'm like, dude, she's so scary. I once again, just that anime thing of like, I can beat you with the flick of my finger. It's just, and like, just a flick of her finger, she was able to just cut through the ground like that. It's so badass. At the same time, Kodan and Evan run into Han Sang-yu, but based on the conversation, is like, he knew we were heading here. He knows that there's an assassin, and it's like, right. Let the Jihad family clean up its own trash if necessary. So for him, he's like, I'm not interfering, and Evan knows that too. It's like, that is, but it's still his rules and everything, and also like, Yuri's not supposed to be here, so. The Coon that's with them, the person from the Coon family, ends up turning off the camera so they can't get any recordings of Yuri. But Han Sang-yu already knew. Lero and Quant didn't know. So it becomes it's like, because they were trying to examine who the person was that was interfering, but it's like, they can't go in there because they're not supposed to interfere with the test. But that's also like Han Sang-yu's way of making sure, like, right, no one's going to know that Yuri or any of you were here. But you got to let things go, because you interfering with all of this, word will get back to your father about your interference. Like, because even Evan was like, if you want to kill Ren, go right ahead, but you cannot help Anak. Which Anak and Endorsi were like, no, we'll take care of it. He's like, yeah, I might be in a weakened state, but there's no way you guys will actually beat me. And then Yuri walks away and tells Kudan to finish it, and he squishes Ren like a bug. At the same time, you know, you got Rock running with Pericle, and And then he's like, you know what, I can't run. And he's running with him, and he jumps, and he's leaping, gets on top of one of the worms, and they're kind of fending off against the goblins. And Perica was like, oh, I don't want to die here. And then they're floating, and I love that line. Is this my power? Is this actually me? And Hans is like, no, you idiot. And it turns out Laro had levitated. I was like, oh, of course. You know, so obviously the whole... What ends up happening is the worms haven't been feeding on the dolphins this entire time. In actuality, they've been feeding off of the striped boars or pigs. And now they're like, because they're all enemies of each other, it's kind of like the way this ecosystem works. So by crushing the tunnels like we saw Laro doing last episode, they were able to divert like the pathways because the pigs use the same tunnel, so kind of forcing them one way, and that forces them in the direction of where the worms are, so they get eaten instead of the dolphins. So once again, Coon and his plans, it's like, oh, he actually had this all planned out. This is all working out because at the same time they're backing up support by, like, you know, the spear bearers are like throwing their spears just to make sure they serve as backup to all of this. So, but at the same time, Coon is like, I'm gonna go take a break. And so he runs into the other member of the Coon family, which I'm assuming, like, with everything, like, yeah, he's got to be one of the people that's with Yuri. I don't know if they made that clear in the manga, like, everyone, because, like, I think Kuran and Evan are the only ones they made sure. I don't know if this... I think this might be where he first pops up. It might get revealed that he's with them. I feel like he might have been seen before, but never acknowledging that he's a member of the Coon family. Because obviously Coon's a step. You know, it's like, right, you're Maria's step stool. So... It's like, right, we can climb the tower together and I can take you to see Maria. It's like, yeah, if I can stick it to the Coon family, that's fine too. But for him, it's like, right, I have no intentions of climbing the tower with you to see her. I'm climbing even higher. You know, and it's like, oh, really? Coming from the person who's not even willing to put a knife against me. But then, you know, Hots interferes. It's like, you got some pretty interesting allies. Because Lauro was kind of like, finally, now that his work was done, Nare finally gave him back his blanket. He's like, quiet, no more chit-chatter in front of anybody. And he gets ready to go to sleep, and then his shadow oversees him. It turns out, like, Hots got a boost from him, and he's like, now that he's gone, I can go back to sleep. It's like, Hots is like, there's no way someone like you is actually going to go take a break. So he decides to step in, and it's like, why'd you come here? You know, it's like, you know, even someone fighting, like someone you're fighting on, like, why would you step in? He was like, because if you were to die here, I'd never be able to face Bomb after everything, you know? So, you have Yuri grabbing, she puts away Black March, but she also grabs Green Up. It's like, if you want it so badly, come to me when you're finally able to actually fully wield it. And it's like, right. Also, give this to Bomb, you know, because initially Yuri being so, like, she's taken a liking to Bomb, and it's like, right, if he's going to, if you're going to put him in danger by sending a bull his way, I don't care, I will crush this damn test. And it's like, but it's like, you know, why does it matter if he fails? But Anaka's like, no, I'm going to climb the tower with him, we all are, so he can't fail. And it's like, don't worry, he will pass, you know. Bomb, when the time comes, Bomb gets it done. That line from She Beats, I'm like, yeah! And I love it so much. And at the same time, Bomb is fighting off the bull, wounded and everything. But your boy Bomb doesn't know the meaning of the word give up. Getting knocked down, arm messed up, eye cut, got blood dripping down into his eye. Don't matter. He's going to protect. You know, so many people are counting on him, so he's protecting Rachel, but also everyone else. Like, if he fails, this isn't just on him. It's about Rachel. It's about everyone willing to help. Everyone came through for him, so I think he's trying to come through for everyone. Rachel included. Once again, Rachel's face as well as the cafeteria were the things that came to his mind. Because it's not just Rachel. She's irreplaceable, but everyone else that's taking this journey with him are important to him as well. So he's fighting just as much for them. And it's like, you know, even you're being like, oh, so he's gotten that much stronger, huh? All right. And the princess makes her exit after getting back the weapons. Now there's no complaints. No one to send any word to her dad because she did what she needed to anyway. So, and this is what I meant about, like, I knew how it's going to go back. Like, I knew that she was going there to take the weapons. I figured that was going to, I remembered that being the case. But yeah. Once again, it's just the fact is, like, she was immediately smitten by, or at least something. There's something in Bomb that she saw and that she liked. It wasn't just about Black March. Like, even to this point, like, she had already gotten Black March they were already within her grasp, but she was like, nah, I'm gonna crush this test. I want to make sure he survives, especially because the test is being interfered with because of this assassin bastard, so it shouldn't count, so I'm gonna crush it. Who cares if Bomb fails? At least he'll be alive. But seeing the passion that her little sisters have about this, it's like, all right, fine, I'll leave things in his. I'll trust that he'll handle things. And despite everything, your boy draws on that Shinsu and he puts it into that. Well, the bull swallows him, very much like, I wonder, was that the plan or was it just a happy accident? But I think he probably applied what happened with the eel, it coming full circle, for him to do the same thing to the bull. Whether that was intentional or not, whether it just the circumstances created. I'd like to believe it was intentional just because of the eel situation, because it's like his exterior is probably too hard, plus this thing's fast and it can dodge all his blasts. Can't do it if the blast is from inside, so comes through in the end and it's like, oh man, dude, we might actually succeed here. We're doing it. We're getting sucked up. And he's just like, Rachel, I told you. And she's like, oh, Bomb. The moment that hand hits him, I was like, there we go. Here we go. Here we go. And push you. And I'm like, there it is. That right there is the biggest. I remember reading that like, what the fuck? That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the big twist that I've been so excited for. To me, this is where things really get started. This is basically even season 1 finale of like the book. Like I said, apparently it was like 78 chapters in the first season. I thought it was 90 something, but I don't know if that's like extra stuff that might have been in the webtoon that's not in this, because a lot of that probably got like, but I don't know. I could have sworn it was like 90 some chapters was like where the season 1 ended, but maybe it is 78. I don't know. But I'm like, that moment, right? I actually thought they were going to save that for episode. I thought things would have, like, time-wise would have worked. I wasn't paying attention to how much time is left in the episode. Like, I just thought events would have led to that all concluding in the 13th episode. But I think the 13th episode is going to be understanding why Rachel did what she did. 13 is more like an epilogue. Because I thought that this is the end of season 1 of the manhwa, but I guess it's like the epilogue. What's essentially the epilogue of the season is kind of like the epilogue, because I believe the series has epilogues as well. Because if I remember correctly, like there are multiple like because these tests are only like 2 or 3 parts anime wise, they get pretty up there for like the manhwa, because like they can get up into the double digits, like 20s and 30s. I think there's even like some that ran for like 40 parts, I think, just manhwa wise. But obviously they get condensed down into like 2 or 3 parts for the anime. But they do have epilogues, or maybe that's just specifically season 1. I think the end of each like thing that has multiple parts is an epilogue. But I can't. Once again, I don't remember as well. But it's like understanding why Rachel did what she did. We're getting like some of the stuff I was bringing up earlier about like the whole she got there before Bond. That's why I was like, oh, does time work differently? And partway through the season, I remembered something. I didn't talk about it. We're getting, like, just looking at the thumbnail of episode 13 without having watched it, it's a picture of Hedon. I'm like, I remember. So that's the episode we're getting the context for, like, Rachel's story, kind of her mentality, her mental state. But yeah, pushing Bomb. The man, that's why I said at the beginning, because you don't forget this. This is the biggest middle finger. This is the ultimate betrayal. And you don't forget this. This is the moment I've been waiting for the entire season. Like I said, I thought it would have been the actual season finale and not just this episode, but ending the episode off full and playing the credits on top of it. It's like, dude, this is what makes you hate Rachel. That's why, like, I brought it up at the beginning. There are just certain things you can never look at the beginning of the series the same way again. And that's the biggest one of them all. Because Rachel's not supposed to be able to walk. Oh, she was able to stand up long enough to push Bomb off. But 2, she also pushed Bomb. That's first and foremost. And that's what I'm talking about, what the tower does. Maybe Rachel wasn't always like this. Or maybe there was already darkness in her, and it just happens that the tower's efforts ended up just feeding what was already there, you know? Bomb is this light that shines a little too bright for her to, you know, to a certain extent, I guess. Once again, we'll kind of dive into that more next episode, but it's just like that, like I said, you can never, like, all that Bomb does for her, and it's just like she does that. He's literally sacrificed everything. He faced death multiple times to get to the top, to get to her, and for what? Your legs don't even work, and he's willing to go, you know what, I'm going to climb you to the top of the tower. Once again, I think we're also going to get a little bit, like I said, if I brought it up last episode, there's an important conversation between Han Sung-yu and Rachel that, like I said, I don't think we got last episode. I think next episode is going to have context with that too, but there's going to be a lot of interesting reveals. But yeah, this is, like I said, this is where things get really started. This is where this was a story, once again, that's why even like, oh yeah, this is the story of a girl wanting to get to the stars. I'm like, shut up. I'm like, ooh, yeah. This is the turn. Like, I don't know. That's why I'm curious. Like, for anyone who might be coming across this, who's never read the manhwa, who may have owned, because I don't know how many people watching this series are just watching it for the first. I'm sure that applies like to everything. Regardless, I'm sure that applies to everything that's based on something. But it's just like, I'm curious, like, people who are watching anime for the first time, who might be coming across this review, did anyone see that twist coming? I personally didn't. Even with the little seeds that we're setting up, I never would have thought, like, I thought, like, it's like, oh, once again, the Anjosi conversation they had, like, don't assume, like, you know my circumstances. Don't talk to me like you know what's up between me and Bomb. But I like her sincerity of, like, I abandoned you and everything. Like, I still would have, like I said, I remember reading it and being like, what? How dare she? Face it, that's super fucked up. I remember that feeling, and it's just like, you never forget. Like, I might have forgotten a lot of things. I did not forget that. You can't, because that sets the tone for the rest of this series. Like, that betrayal, especially, it gets even, like, next episode is probably going to, like, dive into how not just Rachel's past that led her to get to where she is now, where the future is now going forward. Like, it's going to get more fucked up from that. It's going to make you go, oh, that's so messed up. Well, I don't know. It might be something they don't touch on until season 2. Because I don't know. I don't think they ever in the manhwa go into the aftermath of this. I don't think. I think the entire thing is focusing on why Rachel kind of got to where she was. But I don't think they focus on the exact aftermath until season 2. Both, like, I think they'll do that for the anime. Maybe they won't. But they definitely did it in the manhwa. I don't think we got... I don't know. Maybe we did kind of get, like, the response of, like, everyone's reaction to everything going down. Once again, we'll have to wait and see how they plan everything out. I'll talk about things more once we watch the episode 13, the season 1 finale. But, yeah. Lots of feels, lots of feelings, lots of interesting things and developments. I'm really excited to see where this season finale takes us with all of this. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.